What's going on, my friends? Hope you're having an amazing day. You can follow me on Instagram at DreamRare. You can follow me on Twitter at Legendary Energy. You can check out my website at legendary.vision. And stay tuned on Facebook. Check out my videos in the video section. I have news analysis, poetry, music, and whatnot. But this is a very important video. I wanted to live stream again. Sorry, I'm overflowing with information today, but I think it's a very polarizing time. A lot of people are paying attention, so it's the perfect time to address a lot of these very important issues. So I'm going to address it real quick. I know that a lot of people aren't paying attention and don't have a lot of time. They work, so when it comes to the Russia situation and a lot of these things, nobody has that much time to research. Luckily, thanks to you guys and thanks to the fact that I've worked hard over the past couple years and gotten jobs that I'm allowed to multitask and do other things and do a lot of research, I've been able to really research this Russia situation as well as a lot of other things going on. And thank you guys for your donations. I appreciate that. Hold on, I'm gonna just post a link real quick. It's been a huge help over the past few months, and it's given me even more time and space to research and make a lot of videos. So I just posted that link if you want to donate. If not, don't worry about it. This is a very important topic that's being overshadowed right now, of course, because of the Charlottesville incident. If you want to hear what I said about that, I've made multiple videos on it. Check the one below this one. Check my one about my thoughts on America, my important message to America. But this Russia narrative, and I have said it since October of 2016, I've gotten a lot of flack for it, and it's now all collapsing in front of our faces, just like I said it would in October of 2016. It's collapsing because the entire Russia narrative, this whole story, has been built off a foundation of lies. And I've called it out since October. And recently, I've posted multiple links, and I'm going to keep posting every time a mainstream media source covers it. Salon covered it, The Nation covered it, and the New York Post just covered it. And Salon and The Nation hate President Trump, and they're very left-leaning. But facts are facts, and people can't deny the truth anymore. And the truth is, or possibly, is that the DNC never got hacked, that it came from an internal leak. This was a study done by VIPS, which is an organization of past intelligence officials from the NSA and the CIA. They did research, and they found out that the DNC did not get hacked, that the leak came internally. Why is this a big deal? It's a massive deal, and it's so unfortunate that a terrible event had to happen, that has everybody in chaos and mass array. But it's a huge deal because it means the last entire year of the Russian narrative has been a complete manufactured lie. And I've known this since October because if you pay attention, and I understand that a lot of people don't have that time. I'm lucky to have that time. Some people do have the time and they just don't care. I don't know what it is, but it's so obvious to me, so obvious, that the Russian narrative was a manufactured lie from the beginning, and now it's all collapsing because the number one reason for even launching all of these Russia councils and the Russia investigations, and you notice they're not talking about the Russia council anymore because now they have new evidence that completely shatters the entire thing, that they never got hacked. It came from an inside leak. And I'm going to talk about now for this video all of the times that they've been caught lying. I've caught them lying over 100 times this past year about everything, 10 plus times with the Russia stuff. First they said it was a hack. That's why they have to launch this investigation, and that's a lie. It came from internally. They're finding out now it was never hacked. It was somebody on the inside. So that was a lie. They said last year that Vermont's utility grid got hacked. Vermont's utility grid got hacked by Russians trying to get into the United States power grid. That whole story was 100% fabricated by the Washington Post. Complete fake story. No truth or reality to any of it. Vermont's utility grid never got hacked. It had nothing to do with that. So that's the second lie. You have the third bit of information is that when the emails came out that were leaked and not shown anywhere and 100% true. It said that the Democratic Party and Hillary Clinton's platform was to lie about Russia. They even admitted it. They're like, well, that's a weak point because Hillary sold 20% of the United States uranium to Russia. They knew her weak point was the fact that she had a huge connection to Russia. So their platform was like, hey, let's blame everybody else about the Russia. So there's another bit of information. They admitted that. Fast forward to this year. They said that, they were saying one of Trump's officials or something talked to Russia, ended up being a CNN fake story. 3 people had to resign from CNN for pushing that fake story. And now the entire basis of the whole thing is made up. And think about what the news sources did when people just suggested that Seth Rich might have been the DNC leaker. They said, no, it was a hack. There's no way. They almost kicked Sean Hannity off the air for the Seth Rich talking. They're yelling at everybody. They're trying to silence everybody. They're writing smear pieces on Jimmy Dore and Zach Haller and H.A. Goodman. And look at it now. I mean, it's in the Salon. It's in the Nation. It's in the New York Post. It's going to be everywhere soon that Russia didn't hack the DNC. The leak came from inside. So how guilty does it make those people look? The fact that they've been trying to silence every single person for suggesting what we all literally know now. Another massive lie in the Russia story is that 17 intelligence agencies said that Russia hacked the election. You heard that. 17 intelligence agencies. It was 17 intelligence agencies. It was 17 intelligence agencies. It was 17 intelligence agencies. It turns out that never happened. The New York Times was forced to retract that entire story because it was 100% fabricated. 4 intelligence agencies came to that conclusion, and the head of all the intelligence agencies, James Clapper, said multiple times that they had zero evidence that Russia hacked the election because they never hacked the election. This new report says that Guccifer 2.0, the Russian hacker, looks like it was fabricated as a ploy to blame the Russians. This is not me saying this. I told you this last October. This is now former intelligence officials from the CIA and the NSA who did their independent research and found 100% proof that the leak came internally and that Guccifer looks like it was set up to blame the Russians. I mean, the irony of all of this is that all of these people, all of these news sources, all of these quote-unquote, I hate labeling people, but quote-unquote liberals and social justice activists and, whatever they consider themselves, they're the best people and everybody else is terrible. These people are the ones screaming mayhem about what happened in Charlottesville and calling Trump a Nazi. These are the same people that pushed the Russia lie all year. That's xenophobia. That's being xenophobic, is blaming Russians, blaming Russia for something that the media created. The biggest hypocrites in America right now. Now it's on to a new crisis. I can't help but wonder, is this their plan of just screaming lie to lie and then jumping to the next lie, crisis, crisis, crisis? These same people, I'm telling you, because I'm watching it unfold on Twitter and on Facebook, the same people that lied about Russia to your face all year. They lied. They said 17 intelligence agency. That was a lie. They said that Russia hacked the electric grid. That was a lie. They said that Russia hacked the election. That was a lie. It's a proven lie. It's now proof that I told you all year. I told you it was a lie because I knew, because it's obvious. I do a lot of research. I look at what everyone's saying. I look at what all sides are saying. I look at all the proof. And it was a no-brainer to me. Russia never hacked the election. It was an excuse for the DNC and the Democratic Party to do what they're doing now, to use race, religion, gender, and politics and identity to just destroy the country. That's what their whole plan was. I knew this because they've admitted to it. It's not like I'm making it up. These documents are for everyone to view, but nobody wants to look or they don't have time, whatever. So I knew, I've told people this. I have videos since October telling you that the Russia stuff was a total lie. to deflect all accountability. And these same people, look at the people that are being racially divisive right now with the Charlottesville. I'm all for condemning hate and negativity and supremacy. I'm with it. But these same people that are stretching that out are the same people who stretched out the Russia lie. They stretched out this whole Russia fabrication for a whole year. What's more hateful and bigoted and xenophobic than that? That's xenophobia. The fact these same people that stretched this Russia lie out and blamed Russia and blamed Russians and had the nerve to investigate certain American media sources. They were blaming all U.S. media who didn't agree with them. Everybody's Russian. This is their plan, I told you. Their plan is to call everybody Russian, to call everybody racist, to call everybody alt-right and alt-left, to further censor and control the flow of information. This is their plan. I told you this. And it's all melting. Because it's built on a foundation of lies, but I just can't help to realize that these people, these ignorant people who pushed the Russia lie all year, now they're pushing the Charlottesville lie, saying that it's all Republicans and it's all conservatives and it's Donald Trump's fault and he can't say anything. These are the same people that brought you the xenophobic, bigoted Russia lie all year. They have no shame. They have no shame. They have no accountability. These are some of the worst people in the United States of America because they bounce from lie to lie to lie and they don't care how many people it affects. They said that Trump was xenophobic for his for his travel ban, and they called it a Muslim ban, even though the top 5 Muslim countries weren't even on it. Muslims come and go every single day from multiple countries, and it's totally cool. It was never a Muslim ban. These same people lied to you. There's a group of cowardice liars, and they're very dangerous ideology-wise because they're trying to silence everybody else and scream lies. And the irony of that is the same people who said that the travel ban was racist and sexist and xenophobic. They were pushing the xenophobic Russia scare that now we know is not true. Meanwhile, they're silent now that 600,000 Syrian refugees have returned to their cities. Why can they go back to their cities? Because they're not controlled by terror groups anymore, because our President of the United States helped ease the tension in that area. That's just a fact. It's not my opinion. I have some opinions. That's not one. It's a fact. 600,000 Syrians went back to their country because it's now free from terror groups. That's a fact. And these people screaming Russia and screaming racism and acting like they have the moral and ideological high ground on everybody, they're the biggest hypocrites and liars and pathetic scum. It's just reality. They screamed Russia for a year. It was a fake story. So are they apologizing? If I get confronted about something that I push to millions of people that say, hey, Anomaly, this isn't true, show me proof, show me the facts, I will make sure people know that I'm sorry for that. But these people don't care because they jump from lie to lie to crisis to crisis to crisis to crisis. And this is the Democratic Party's platform. They have no foundation. And I'm not saying that because I like Republicans. I could care less about Republicans too. Same thing. But specifically the Democrat, at least the Republicans, they have somewhat of a platform like lower taxes and, freedom of speech. The Democrats just use crisis and crisis and crisis and all of the sheep that follow them out of their pure hate for the president. And that's what I tell people. I don't care if you like the president. Just stop lying. If you don't like the president, good. Use it to inspire you to help communities, to do something positive. Don't let your hate for the president inspire you to lie and follow known criminals and known liars. That's what's happening. These people that they're going to get 10,000 retweets on Twitter now because of the Charlottesville, they're saying, Trump's a Nazi, Trump hates all black people, and they're getting 10,000 retweets. I see it. These are the same people that lied to you all year about Russia. They lied to you all year about the travel ban. They're lying to you now about the situation in Charlottesville. I'm with you. Condemn these people. Hold Trump accountable. I'm with you. But don't let your hate And this is what's happening in America. Don't let your hate for the president inspire you to be a lunatic, to lie, to cheat, to steal, to make stuff up, to follow news sources that are confirmed to have brought us into wars and covered up corruption. This is who the modern day Trump activist is. And this is why I make these videos. I'm not even conservative. I considered myself left-leaning until I realized the left has gone bananas. They lied about Russia all year. They lied to your face. They lied about 17 intelligence agencies. They lied about Russia hacking the DNC. They lied about everything. They're lying about everything. Every situation that happens, all they do is lie about it, and it's easy to do. If I was a complete scumbag, instead of educating people, instead of trying to inspire people, instead of sacrificing my life and my time to try to uplift and bring people together, what I would do if I was a horrible person, I would be a left-leaning anti-Trumper, and I would just blame everybody else. Anybody can look down on, oh, it's the easiest thing in the world. Oh yeah, white supremacist, you're a scumbag. Duh. I mean, who doesn't already know that? White supremacists are scumbags. Doesn't make you a good person. Just because you can tweet it and get 10,000 retweets doesn't mean you're a great person. You're still a scumbag. This is what I'm trying to say. White supremacist scumbag. These people on Twitter who lie about Russia, who lie about the travel ban, and who lie about Charlottesville, they're scumbags. Perhaps the biggest scumbags on the planet, because they're taking what these little scumbags do. Okay, these little scumbags in a corner protesting, they're taking that and blowing it up out of proportion. So these scumbags, their whole life revolves around calling other people scumbags. I mean, what's worse than that? They lied about Russia. They lie about Trump every single day. I don't care if you like President Trump. I don't want you to blindly follow President Trump like, oh yeah, he's perfect. That's not what I want you to do. Talk about actual things. Stop lying. Because when you lie and they hate and you hate and they lie, it creates a massive cloud of just pure insanity. And it's ridiculous. I've said it all year and I'm not surprised. Who is surprised? Of course Russia never hacked the DNC. It's been a lie the whole time. How do you not know? I get why people don't know. They have jobs, they have work, they're busy. But if you actually analyze the situation, it's obvious. I mean, how many lies have to collapse before people realize you bounce from lie to lie to lie to crisis to crisis to crisis to crisis and act like you're all high and mighty? Like, that's the lamest thing you can do. It's like if you're a comedian, the lamest thing you can do is make a President Trump joke because it's easy. It's great to see people condemning racism and hate and bigotry, but it doesn't make you a great person. If you sit on Twitter and say, I condemn every white supremacist, Donald Trump he loves Nazis, he's a Nazi, yeah, and they get like 20,000 retweets, you're not helping. And then you turn around and lie and shill for the Democratic Party and blast all of their lies and say, hey, well, why don't we just destroy Syria? I mean, what's more liberal than destroying Syria? It's ridiculous. I'm not right-wing, and I'm certainly, after this year, not left-wing. This is what I'm trying to explain to people. These people on the left are trying to take freedom of speech away. The people on the right are right. They are doing that, and they're doing it with this moral high ground. They have no shame. They have no shame. After this whole Russia thing collapses and people find out the truth, are they going to apologize? Are they going to say, you know what, I might have been wrong, like maybe that was one thing? No, because they jump from crisis to crisis to crisis to lie to lie to lie. That's their whole lives. They're the biggest hypocrites, the biggest self-centered, obnoxious, egotistical, terrible people, and that's why I make these videos. I see what Donald Trump does. I know he likes women. I know he likes buildings. I know he likes wealth. I know he was born rich. I know all of these terrible things you say about Donald Trump. I see it. But what people don't see is everything they accuse him of, they are themselves times 50. If you're going to hate on somebody, you have to be better. Give me 1 second. I need a drink. And this is the whole thing with the election. I get that Donald Trump might not be the greatest person for the job, but you got to be better to beat him. You can't be worse and point the finger all the time. And that's what these people do. They lied about Russia. I'll say it 10,000 times. Lied. They lied to your faces. If you're a liberal, they lied to you. If you're progressive, they lied to you. If you like Trump, they lied to you. If you like Obama, they lied to you. If you like Bernie Sanders and Jill Stein, they lied to you. If you don't care, they still lied to your face every single day for the past year. It should be a #1 story. And then everybody wants to talk about healthcare. I mean, it's no surprise everybody has bad health. I mean, look at what they feed us. Look at the medicine they give us. Look at mentally what they do to us. When you log into Twitter and Facebook, outside of my page and a few pages, it's a bunch of Looney Tunes on all sides, just screaming and yelling like little babies. And then they're like, oh, we're going to do you a favor. And, whether it's Bernie Sanders' healthcare or Obama's healthcare, we're going to make trillions of dollars off you and we're going to help your health. Oh, yeah. Real. Oh, yeah, you're totally helping my health by just draining me with just negativity and destroying me with, all of these lies and all of this negativity and all this fear-mongering. Oh, and then you passed a little bill that says, oh, I owe $500 a month now instead of $400 a month. Oh, my God, thank you so much. You really changed my health. No, they're lying to you about that too. And this whole Russia narrative, they literally created a council to investigate nothing. They wasted all of your time for nothing. They wasted a whole year for nothing. Everything that they found, I've had my own friends say, how do you know? Who do you think you are? I don't think I'm anybody. I don't think I know that much, but just look at the facts. They spent a year investigating Donald Trump and his team with a year investigation, with a year of media coverage, with a year of lies, with a year of people on Twitter just lying. Everything they found on Donald Trump as far as his connections with Russia, after a year and billions of dollars spent, didn't even add up to 1/10 of the connections of the Democratic Party and Hillary Clinton and the fact they sold uranium to Russia. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You don't even have to watch the news. You just have to not be brainwashed. You have to not be mind-controlled by the news. I mean, it's simple. What does common sense tell you? If they spend a year investigating one person, but this person has more connections to Russia than that person with no investigation and media cover-ups, how obvious? Of course it's a lie. I've told you for a year. I've almost lost friends for a year for telling the truth about it. I mean, there's 10 plus stories debunked. And look on Twitter. Look on Facebook. The same exact people that are taking this ignorant Charlottesville riot and blowing it up out of proportion, your Twitters, your Facebooks, your Googles, your New York Times, your Washington Post, your independent, hipster journalists, and I say that with love. I'm a hipster too when it comes down to it. But all of these people are the same people, the ones that are blowing this up out of proportion and calling for extreme measures and protests and, this is the worst time and Trump's a Nazi and this is a Nazi. These are the same people that lied to you all year about Russia. That's xenophobia, lying about Russia. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And then you say the travel ban's xenophobic. And now that we don't even need we're not going to need a travel ban in a few years because Syria is getting back to natural order. What do people do? They don't talk about it. They hop to the next lie. I've talked to people in Syria and they said that terror organizations hijacked passport facilities. So Donald Trump's 120% right about a travel ban in Syria because terror organizations are hijacking passport organizations. So even if they have a passport, they're trying to infiltrate. It's a reality. I mean, but you can't. It's politically incorrect. Why is it politically correct then to lie about Russia? Why is it politically correct to lie about the travel ban? Why is it politically correct to race bait by religion and gender and all of these things? It's not. People are sick of it. This is why President Trump won in the first place. People are sick of this nonsense. It's the same thing. It's the same racism, it's the same sexism, it's the same xenophobia. It's just disguised as social justice. It's disguised as feminism. It's disguised as I'm a good person. And you know the one reason, the only reason, among others, that that's okay is because the media tells you it's okay. They promote it. They endorse it. They tell you a good person. They control 90% of the flow of information, and they got billions and billions of dollars to just blast, 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 blast. So at a certain point, you're like, oh yeah, it's okay to be racist and sexist and xenophobic and hateful and wrong and negative and lie all the time. Just as long as I'm on this side, I can do whatever I want. And I've made multiple videos about Charlottesville. If you want to see my take on that, go to those other videos. But this one is specifically for the fact that the Russian narrative is 120% collapsing. And I told you last week, I made a video explaining what social media is doing. And I told you before the Charlottesville event, I published a video on Friday. Charlottesville happens on Saturday. Here we are on Tuesday. I told you that these organizations are using this type of stuff to further censor and control people. I told you that before Charlottesville. And what a perfect storm. What a perfect amount of chaos. What a perfect, ridiculous disaster for them to further that. So now this Russia stuff comes out. The biggest story in America is now non-existent because they've replaced it with a new big story. And they do this all the time. Crises happen all the time. Wars happen all the time. Ignorance happens all the time. There's lunatics, weirdos all over the place. But they put a microscope on certain ones to control your mind, to control the population. It's just what happens. They did it for a year with Russia, and all the people who hate Trump. Russia, yeah, oh my God, Russia's coming into our country. No, our country's already been hijacked. The news organizations, certain politicians, they've sold out to lobbyists and foreign nations for 10 plus years now. Our country's been hijacked. Russia didn't hijack our country. It's been hijacked. You just weren't paying attention because the news never told you. So that's the big microscope. Russia. As soon as that one fizzles out, oh, it's not true. Wait, you just spent a year pushing lies, believing lies, and now it's on to the next one. Now it's going to be Charlottesville. People are going to further hate each other, further divide, further call each other names, start grouping everyone in. All right, all left, everybody's a white supremacist, everybody's a neo-Nazi, everybody's a communist, everybody's Antifa. They're going to put a scope on that until that narrative collapses because, believe it or not, they're going to do an investigation on what happened and they're going to find out, exactly what happened there as far as the violence and the antagonism and who's racist and who's this and who's that. They're going to figure it out. They already know social media is working on it, whatever, but they're going to put a microscope on this until this isn't relevant anymore and people evolve and are like, hey, you know what? This doesn't involve me. These people are ignorant. We all agree on that. They're going to hop to a new crisis and a new crisis and a new crisis and a new crisis. This is what they've been doing for the past 20 years, if not more. I can only speak for at least the last 10 since 9/11. It's been happening. And I don't condone violence or bigotry or hate from any side, but wake up, which we are, and everybody is. So that's why you're going to see an increase as well, because tens of hundreds of millions of people, more people in my lifetime, ended on a positive note. When I was in 2009, I used to tell my mom, I used to tell people, that the news is lying, Fox News is lying, MSNBC is lying, all the news is lying, and no, that's not true. And now, fast forward 5-10 years, everybody knows the news is lying. We have different factions of Trump's lying, this fake news, that's fake news, but pretty much everybody knows the news is lying, so we've awoken in that sense. The more we awake, the more crisis they're going to try to manufacture. It's just a fact. So as we get more woke, as their lies start to untangle, as all of the crimes that they've done have started to be exposed, because now in the age of technology, it's not like one person's going to uncover it. There's tens of thousands of cameras there. There's people all over the place going, wow, that's not going to be me. I'm not an investigator. I don't care. Everyone do your thing. But it's inevitable. All of this stuff is happening at once, and they've done so many things that it's impossible to cover up. So they're going to hop from crisis to 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 divert your attention away from what's going on. And this is a politics trick. They've been using race, religion, gender, and party for over 100 years to control people. Because what's easier when you're pulling the strings, if everybody looks up and is like, hey, why are you lying to us? They'd be like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. But they don't. They make these people mad at these people mad at these people mad at these people, put a microscope on it. And now you get people who are never even mad at each other starting to get mad at each other because they're trying to filter you into your box. You're Christian, you're Muslim, you're white, you're black, you're Latino, you're trans, you're LGBT, you're a straight male, you're a woman, you're this, you're that. They're trying to siphon us into these boxes because that's the easiest way to continue to control us. And we've broke past that control. It's past the point of no return. It just is. It's the best time to be alive. We're breaking through that control. So the more progress that we make, the more they are going to try to seem like we're not making progress. The better society gets, and the more united we get, and the less crimes, and the less murders, and the less racism that we have. And it's totally just been lessening and lessening and lessening statistically and factually. You have the news hyping it up like it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. It's not. Over the past 15 years, we just ignored it. We respected people's free speech. We didn't respect them. They got a little bit of flack, but we just, okay, do your march and go back in your house and leave everybody alone. But now they put a microscope on it, send counter-protesters, pay people to go, start a huge mess. I'm not condoning any side of it, but it's just reality. Don't think for 1 second that they didn't want this to happen. If you think the news didn't want that to happen, that's your choice. And I'll respect that, but they love this stuff. They love it. They don't hate it. They're not trying to stop it. They're trying to fuel it. And the same people who lied about Russia, the same people who lied about the election and told you that it was a 99% chance, the same people who lied to you about Bernie Sanders, the same people who lied to you about the environment, the same people who lied to you about the wars, the same people who lied to you about Ron Paul, they're lying to you now because they love it. What's easier? If everybody's fighting with each other, it's the easiest thing in the world. Like, shit, let's just, okay, on to the next one. This works, crisis, 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 lie, lie, lie. That is the plan. But it's not working. Social media will amplify it. Regular media will amplify it. But when you go on the streets, everybody knows. Everybody's sick of it. We might get emotional. We might get dragged into it temporarily. There might be some people that live in this state of pure madness. But for the most part, we're past that. We're better than we've ever been. We're smarter than we've ever been. We're more united than we've ever been. So of course they want to say we're more divided than we've ever been because they want us to be divided. We're not more divided. I mean, we might be after this billions of dollars of media manipulation, but that's on us to rise above, to condemn the hate, the negativity, the supremacy, the racism from all sides, and come together as one country, come together as one earth. That's our job. And it's going to happen. I have faith. I know it gets ugly right before it gets better. And this Russia hack story is a huge, huge, huge deal. And I know it's not going to go away because this Charlottesville incident will get solved, will get appropriately addressed, and we will move on. They'll try to start another crisis, but every time something happens, more and more people get awake. I see it happening. It's a beautiful time to be alive. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm going to post my links below again. I'll be back later. God bless everybody of every race, religion, gender, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're all the same. We all just want freedom, security, family, friends, life. Let's not blow everything out of proportion. And certainly, let's not let the people who lied to us about Russia, who lied to us about the election, who now have no shame to address the fact that they've lied for an entire year and started a whole council based on a fake story. Let's not let these magnifiers of pure chaos lead our discussions because they don't reflect us. They don't reflect all black people in America. They don't reflect all white people in America. They don't reflect all Italians and Polish people and Puerto Ricans and Colombians and South Americans. They don't reflect us. The media doesn't reflect us. These journalists don't reflect us. Let's not let them lead the discussion, because the biggest liars, the biggest hypocrites, and the biggest frauds who have no shame think they're leading this discussion. They have the moral high ground, and they totally don't. And that's all for today. All right, thank you guys. Have a good day.